This video is about making these twin tables, so let's get started. That's the usual first step, to cut all the required pieces to approximate length. Two different dimensions of wood are being used here, one being 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, which will be used for the legs, and 1 inch by 2 inches, which will be used for the rails or the braces or the leg connectors. There's definitely a certain happiness to make these really simple cuts with a handsaw instead of a machine. In simple words, it makes you realize where you stand in craftsmanship, which makes a lot of difference eventually. Clearly marking out what needs to be mortised out so that there is no confusion. Now this is my favorite action, the mortise making part. Now, as you know, each leg is going to be having 4 mortises, so each table has 4 legs, which makes it 16 mortises in one table, if I'm correct. Yeah, 16 mortises in one table, so 32 mortises in all. So the number was little on the higher side, so I thought to myself that it's alright if I just make the 2 first pilot holes and then create the mortises from that. The tenon process number 1, marking. Tenon process number 2, cutting. And tenon process number 3, cleaning. Now a good tenon is where the shoulder is clean without any gaps between the mortise piece and the tenon end grain. So just clearing that out. Now there is such a thing as trial and error. We feel that the mortise we have made is always good enough. We feel that the tenon we have made is very good. But yet when we are putting them together, when we are assembling them, they both need a little bit adjustment here and there so that they just can fit perfectly and snug and complement each other's presence. I bought these really beastie, amazing T-bar clamps just not too long ago, and they're just really perfect for this job. Time to glue up. First, making the two frames. Then the middle rails connecting one frame to another. Finally, we're getting somewhere when the glass comes into the picture. Even when I was gluing, I knew that the external surface of the braces was a little more proud of the legs, so I needed to flush that out correctly. The glass had a very neat 4 round corners, so I thought that the legs, if they had the round corners as well, I think it would just complement the whole look and the design of these tables. Oh, this is the real tricky part. It was the first time I have been doing this tricky recess. Okay, it is not rocket science. It's just a piece of long wood which is clamped to the routing machine so that it leans against the external surface just as much as you want the recess to be made. And it works. Cleaning the corner roundings. The glass fitting in is serious satisfaction. Even though I am really proud of the joinery that I have done, there were gaps which I filled with powder and polish put together into a paste, of which the combination here in the local language we call lambi. For most of it, the woodworking part was now over, and I have only been doing this since 2 years now, so I know for sure that applying finish to a certain product is something which calls for honest expertise. So I called a person who has been in this field for more than 10 years. No matter how well I sanded with 150, he began his sanding at 80 again on the same piece to make sure that the evenness of the touch and the continuity of the wood was much better than what I did. Now the finish which needs to be done on this piece is what we call here in our local language French polish. It is a mixture of various colored powder with polish and coating it several times on the wooden piece to achieve a certain amount of gloss. But it's all easy talking right now. It's real rigorous process. The first step, as you saw, sanding the surface, cleaning off any burrs or fibers sticking out from the planing of the wood, basically evening the surface out. Second step is to give it a base coat wash. This consists of water and the mixture of the powder. It's a pasty consistency so that the color begins to get absorbed into the grains of the wood. It is applied in excessive amounts and then cleaned with a dry cloth. Now this leaves behind a neat and even color to begin with. The next step is to apply one coat of polish. Now, what the polish does is it sticks to the wood and allows for easy absorption of the other several coats to come. Even though the gaps were filled apparently in the previous process, there is a need here to even out some bumps on the surface in this case. A little more neatness and filling is required. So the polish is now mixed with the color and the paste sets the tone of the final color which needs to come out for that piece. The next coats of polish are applied along with the color with the polish. The last and the final step is applying water-based polyurethane. So I would just say water-based PU. It makes the piece a little more longer lasting and resistant to water and moisture, which is eventually what the requirement of any furniture has become now.